everyone. My name is Caroline Price, and this is my informative speech for Communications 101 at Liberty University. Today, I would like to start by asking you to imagine that you are a fourth grade student in Miss Smith's classroom. When you or one of your fellow classmates does well or is behaving well, Miss Smith likes to reward you. One day, Miss Smith came to the front of the classroom and she said that she's no longer going to be able to hand out treats. She explains that some of her candy stash has been disappearing without permission and when it hasn't been earned, and that she's not going to be able to hand anything else out until whoever is responsible comes forth and admits it. While you are uninvolved and a little bit upset that you won't get Jolly Ranchers for a while, you have learned two very valuable lessons. You have learned the importance of not taking things that don't belong to you, as well as learning the importance of confessing when you've made a mistake. While Christianity is not a part of public education, there are many God-valued characteristics that are taught to elementary school students early on by their elementary school teachers. I know a little bit about this specific topic because I have successfully completed 6 education-based courses as well as 5 in-class fieldwork experiences. Today, I'm giving this speech because I think it is very important that people recognize the values that have been instilled in them by their early education teachers, even with the separation of religion and education in public schools. Throughout the next few minutes, I would like to explain this job field, showing you first that the job of an early education teacher goes far beyond curriculum. Second, God values are taught to students in the elementary school classrooms. And third, I'd like to elaborate on some of the values that I mentioned before. Let's take a closer look at this topic. Planning, administering assessments, recording scores, tracking progress, these are only some of the responsibilities that elementary school teachers take on, as well as working closely with parents and administration to ensure that all of their students are successful. That's a lot for one person to take on. On top of that, it's important to realize that often teachers are the first adults that these students bond with outside of their family members. They take things from them, whether it's values, characteristics, qualities, that stick with them throughout the rest of their educational careers and through the rest of their lives. This brings me to my second point. In a Christian school, God values are tied into the curriculum. It's part of what they need to learn. However, often, God values are also brought into public schools because they are values that are important for everyone in society. In Proverbs 22:6, we learn that we are to train up a child in the way that he should go. Even when he is old, he will not depart from it. Proverbs also teaches us that knowledge, discernment, and wisdom are tied closely together. This makes sense. These are values of a successful teacher, values of a successful student in Christian and in public schooling. Finally, we arrive at my third and final point. I'd like to focus on 3 specific God values that tie into education, whether it's in Christian or in public schools. First, I'd like to talk about honesty. Students are taught from an early age that honesty is the best policy and, in fact, a policy that they should learn to live by. Second, I want to focus on love. Often we've heard, love your neighbors and hate your enemies, but God tells us to love our enemies and pray for them. Students are taught early on that they should love everyone they come encounter with, whether it's a really close friend or just someone they see in the hallway ever so often. Third and finally, I'd like to focus on compassion. In Matthew, when he came onto the beach and he saw the crowds, he was compassionate for them. He had compassion for them because they were harassed and they were helpless. Now bullying is a really huge issue in school, and students are taught early on to be compassionate for everyone they come encounter with, whether that be in the classroom, on the playground, or outside of schooling. This brings me to my conclusion. One second, I'm sorry. As I have demonstrated in my speech, it is the work of public school, elementary school teachers that really shapes these young students. While they are responsible for bringing them to good grades and teaching them to be independent and teaching them to learn, they also teach them valuable lessons that tie into both Christian schools and public schools. These values are ones like honesty, love, and compassion. Of course, it is the job of elementary school teachers and teachers everywhere to get their students to be successful. It is also their job to honor God and give their students values that God values. That concludes my speech, and thank you for your time.